Hi, let's take a look at another token that was recently launched. And this token was launched on XRP network, which is very interesting because traditionally XRP network doesn't really support launching of other tokens. There were some brief experimental tokens launched in the past on XRP network, but it's not like Solana network where you can just go ahead and launch your meme tokens. So this project actually creates more utility for XRP network beyond just being a payments network, which is very interesting. So in this video, I'm going to show you first what the official it looks like for BlocScale token. As you can see, everything is denominated in XRP value. So 1 XRP equals 80 block tokens here, at least on this website. But anyway, as we go into the podcast, obviously it's AI generated as usual. If you like it, hit the like and subscribe button, and please put your favorite token in the comments below. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
All right, so we're diving deep today into BlocScale, a project that's really making waves on the XRP ledger.
Yeah, BlocScale is definitely one to watch.
Now, most people think of XRP just for, quick, cheap cross-border payments, but the XRP ledger also collects RPL. It's aiming for something much bigger, right?
It really is. XRPL is kind of like branching out, supporting all these different tokens and decentralized applications. Kind of reminds me of what we've seen with Solana.
Okay, so we're saying XRP could become a platform like Solana. What does it even mean, like, for someone who just uses XRP to, send money quickly?
I think the easiest way to think of it is platforms like Solana are like these bustling cities with different districts. Each one has its own thing. DeFi, NFTs, gaming, all built on that core technology. And XRPL is starting to build its own city and BlocScale. It's one of those early, really interesting developments.
I like that analogy. So BlocScale is like, one of the first buildings going up this new city. So tell me, what is BlocScale and why is everyone so excited about it?
Well, think of BlocScale as the first decentralized ideal launchpad built just for XRPL. Imagine something like Kickstarter, but instead of, funding those creative projects, it helps launch new crypto projects directly on the XRP ledger.
So it's like a launch pad for new tokens on XRP. That's pretty huge, right? Because now we could see tokens representing like anything from digital art to real estate, all launching on XRPL. Yeah. So what makes BlocScale different? Are there other launch pads out there like it?
Yeah, there are other launchpads, but BlocScale does a few things really well. First, it uses XRP strengths like speed, low fees, and, that growing reputation for being, good with regulations. And that's a big draw for projects because they want a reliable and efficient platform to raise money. Second, BlocScale is super focused on tokenizing real-world assets, things like real estate or company shares, bringing that all onto XRPL. That's a massive opportunity to bridge, traditional finance with blockchain.
Okay, now that's really interesting. Tokenizing real-world assets on XRP. That has huge implications. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's break down BlocScale a little more. Our sources gave us a really detailed utility score for BlocScale, evaluating it across 10 different categories.
Yeah, that utility score is a good way to see, how much potential BlocScale has, especially since it's still fairly new. It looks at everything from the team to, how it's doing in the market and the tech behind it. It's like a report card for a crypto project.
I love that report card.
Right.
Okay, so first category, use case and utility. BlocScale scored an 8 out of 10 right out of the gate. Pretty impressive. What's behind that high score?
Well, it all comes down to their token, BlocScale. This token isn't just for, speculation. It does two things. First, projects can use it to raise money at good rates. Second, it's a governance token. So if you hold BlocScale, you get to vote on platform decisions. It makes BlocScale a community-driven ecosystem, and that dual role gives BlocScale real value.
So it's not just about making money. It's giving the community a voice in how the platform grows.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it really goes hand in hand with that whole decentralization idea that drives a lot of blockchain technology.
Okay, next category, market adoption and demand. BlocScale got a 7 out of 10. What does it tell us?
Well, it's still early for BlocScale, and even though their private sale went well and they've got people from the XRP community and even investors from like Ethereum and Solana interested, it's still early days,
So room to grow, but a solid start, especially considering they're attracting attention from outside the XRP world.
Exactly. That interest from other blockchains tells me people see something special in what BlocScale is building on XRPL.
Let's talk about the team behind BlocScale. What about team and governance? How'd they do there?
Another 8 out of 10. They've got some heavy hitters on the team, including former engineers from Base and Coinbase. So they've definitely got the skills to build a strong platform.
Right.
And their commitment to community governance through that BLOC voting, that boosts their score even more.
It makes you think about all the, calls for transparency and accountability in crypto these days. Having a strong team with a good track record and a commitment to community governance, that's a huge plus, especially after all the, the ups and downs we've seen in crypto lately.
Oh, for sure. It's good to see projects prioritizing these things right from the start. Building trust is so important in an industry that's still growing, and sometimes people are a bit hesitant.
Right. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so good team, clear use case, early market interest. What about ecosystem and partnerships? Where do they stand there?
They got another 8 out of 10 here. They want to bring in all kinds of projects, from real-world asset tokenization to those building, decentralized applications. It's not just a launchpad. They're building an ecosystem. And they're making partnerships and offering marketing support to help those projects succeed.
So they're not just saying, hey, come raise money on our platform.
Yeah.
You're saying we're going to help you grow.
Exactly. It's a win-win. By supporting the projects that launch on their platform, they make the whole ecosystem stronger, which attracts even more projects and investors.
Smart. All right, last category for this part of our deep dive. Community strength and engagement. BlocScale got an 8 out of 10. Why such a high score?
The XRP community, they're known for being super passionate and loyal, and BlocScale seems to be tapping into that. They've built a user-friendly platform so it's easy to get involved, and that BLOC token gives the community a direct say in governance. Plus, they're really active on social media and doing those AMAs, really engaging.
Sounds like they're doing a great job building a community around their platform. All this is super interesting, but we've only just scratched the surface. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors to dig into the rest of these categories and see what else we can learn about BlocScale. Okay, so we're back and ready to dig deeper into BlocScale's utility score. We saw they're doing well in a lot of areas, but let's look at the tech side now. How did they do on technology and development progress?
They got a really solid 8 out of 10. It shows they're serious about building a sophisticated platform. They're not just, riding on XRP success. They're actually innovating.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of the tech features that really stood out?
Well, one thing that's really cool is they've automated trust line setup. Trust lines might sound kind of technical, but basically they're pre-approved connections on XRPL that make it easier for people to join token sales. It's like having a fast pass for IDOs on the network.
So BlocScale is making things simpler, more user-friendly. That's got to help with adoption, right? Especially for people who are new to all this and might be intimidated by, the tech stuff.
Absolutely. The easier you make it to use, the more people will use it. They've also streamlined the whole fundraising process and made sure it works smoothly with those decentralized exchange liquidity pools. This helps make sure trading for BLOC and the tokens launched on the platform goes smoothly. It's about making things easy for both projects and investors.
That's smart. Thinking about the whole picture from fundraising to trading. But what about security? How did BlocScale do on network security and audits? That's got to be super important in crypto, right?
Yeah, they got a 7 out of 10 there. BlocScale benefits from the security of the XRP ledger, which has a pretty good track record. But the analyst said there wasn't a ton of info out there about specific audits on their platform or the BULC token.
So not bad, but maybe room for improvement on transparency. Would having those audit reports easily available, boost confidence, especially for those institutional investors who are always a bit more cautious.
For sure. And crypto security breaches can be a disaster. So transparency is key. Making those audit reports public shows they're committed to doing things the right way, and that builds trust with the community.
Good point. Okay, transparency noted. Let's move on to liquidity and exchange support. Another big one for any token. BlocScale got a 7 out of 10 there too. What's the story?
Liquidity is all about making sure trading goes smoothly, no crazy price swings that scare people off. It's especially important for a newer token like BLOC.
So are enough people buying and selling BLOC to keep things stable?
Well, they've done a few things to make sure that happens. They've put a good amount of the funds raised into those decentralized exchange liquidity pools. That keeps enough BLOC available for trading. Plus, they're planning to list on exchanges that are popular in the XRP community. That should help boost liquidity too.
Makes sense. They're setting things up for a strong, stable market for BLOC. All right, let's switch gears to regulatory compliance and legal clarity. Always a bit of a wild card in crypto. How did BlocScale handle that?
They did all right, got a 7 out of 10. Part of that is probably because they're on the XRP ledger. Ripple's done a lot of work with regulators, and XRP has more regulatory clarity than some other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that's true. Ripple's been really proactive with regulators, and that seems to have created a more, clear path for XRP. Does that help BlocScale?
Definitely. Building on XRPL gives BlocScale some of that regulatory credibility. But of course, staying compliant in crypto means always keeping up with the rules. It's a moving target.
For sure. It's all about adapting and staying informed. Okay, last category, tokenomics and distribution. Another 7 out of 10. Just to refresh my memory, what's so important about tokenomics?
Tokenomics is like the economic model of a token, how it's created, distributed, and used. Good tokenomics are crucial for a project to last in the long run. Think of it like the economic foundation of a country. If it's not well designed, the whole thing could fall apart.
Okay, I get it. So how does BlocScale's tokenomics model look?
It seems pretty solid. They've allocated tokens to the community, the team advisors, a foundation, and investors. Their private sale had clear rules, too, to make sure distribution was fair. This prevents too much power from ending up in the hands of just a few people, which can really hurt a project.
So they're promoting decentralization and making sure BLOC is distributed fairly. Any red flags or things that could be better with their tokenomics?
Well, the analysts mentioned that some details about the total supply of tokens weren't public yet at the time of their review. A little more transparency there would be good. But overall, the tokenomics looks strong.
All right, so we've looked at all 10 categories of BlocScale's utility score. But before we reveal the final score and talk about what it all means, there's one more thing we need to consider: competition. BlocScale isn't the only ideal launchpad out there, right?
Right. BlocScale might be a pioneer on XRPL, but there are some big players on other networks like Starter on Polkadot Binance Launchpad, which is part of, the whole Binance ecosystem. And then there's Solana with its own bunch of fundraising platforms.
So how can BlocScale compete with those giants? What makes them stand out?
Their secret weapon is XRP. The XRP ledger is fast, has low fees, and institutional investors are getting more comfortable with it. Those advantages could attract projects who are looking for a good, reliable platform to launch their tokens.
So BlocScale is betting on XRP's strengths to make a name for itself in a crowded market. That makes sense? But doesn't the success of those other launchpads mean that XRP is kind of behind the curve here?
Well, those other launchpads might have a head start, but BlocScale has a chance to capitalize on this growing demand for tokenizing real-world assets. XRPL's features combined with BlocScale's focus could make them a leader in this new space.
Okay, I see the strategy. They're not just trying to copy what's already out there. They're targeting a specific niche. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Okay.
The moment of truth, the final utility score. After analyzing all 10 categories, what's the verdict on BlocScale?
Drum roll, please. BlocScale gets a final utility score of 75 out of 100.
Wow, that's a really impressive score, especially for a project that's still relatively new. What do you think about that score?
A score of 75 means BlocScale has a ton of potential. It shows they're strong in areas like use case technology, team community. It means they've got a good foundation for growth. Of course, no score can predict the future perfectly.
True crypto always keeps us guessing. But this score definitely gives us a lot to think about as we learn more about BlocScale and how it could impact the XRP ecosystem. We'll be back after a quick break to discuss the bigger picture and leave you with some final thoughts. That 75 out of 100 for BlocScale, that's a pretty good score.
It is, yeah. Especially when you think about, how a lot of people still see XRP just for payments.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like XRP is trying to show everyone, hey, I can be a platform for all sorts of things.
Exactly. Like we've seen with the Solana building a whole ecosystem of tokens and applications. That's where the real action is.
So BlocScale is kind of building a bridge between regular finance and the blockchain world, with XRP as the foundation and tokenization as the key.
Exactly. They're making it easier to bring real-world assets onto the blockchain and using XRPL's speed and low fees. I mean, imagine tokenized real estate company, shares commodities, all trading on a decentralized platform.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
It could change how we invest and own assets.
It really could be a game changer, and that's why it's important to understand what BlocScale is doing and how it fits into this bigger picture of XRP evolving.
So let's say someone's listening to this for the first time. Why should they care about BlocScale and XRP becoming a platform?
It's a sign that things are changing in crypto. Big players like XRP are adapting and innovating. Don't just chase the hype, look deeper, understand the potential.
It's about looking beyond the surface and seeing those long-term trends that are shaping the future of finance.
Yeah, and BlocScale is a perfect example of that. It shows that innovation can come from anywhere. Don't count out those established players. They can reinvent themselves.
This has been a really interesting deep dive. I think we've learned a lot about BlocScale and what it could mean for XRP.
It's definitely a project to keep an eye on. I encourage everyone to do their own research and see how it all unfolds.
And of course, just a reminder, this deep dive was for information purposes only. It's not financial advice or anything like that. Always do your own research, stay informed, and keep exploring the world of crypto. It's a fascinating space.